Hey vlog, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 5 North American hiking destinations that you need to check out this year. I'm going to talk about these locations in no particular order. I am obsessed with all of these and I just need you guys to go visit them as soon as possible. So let's get into it. Since I live in the East Coast, we'll work east to west. To kick it off, we're going to be talking about Acadia National Park. Living in Old Orchard for the summer, this was a top bucket list item for this summer. Acadia National Park is located in Bar Harbor, Maine, which is about 3.5 hours from Portland, Maine. It is home to gorgeous ocean cliffsides, peaceful lakes, and beautiful hiking trails that are perfect for every level hiker. I explored Acadia in September, and I'm not sure there's a better time to go. It's slower than the busy summer months, but still has the warmth and vacation feel. We stayed at the Mount Desert Campground, which is about 15 minutes outside of the park, and it only cost us $40 per night for a tent site that comes with electricity and running water. And on top of it, our site was within a 30-second walking distance to a shower and a bathroom. This campground also offered kayak and paddleboard rental options because we were staying right on a lake, so we got to spend time down at the water on top of getting to explore Acadia. But since we're here to talk about hiking, let's get into the trails that I hiked for the couple of days that I was in Acadia. So we did 3 hikes, one of them being more of a trail, which is the Ocean Path Trail. It's all along the coast of the water, and you get to explore all of the cliffs, all of the scenery, and it's more of a chill walk for any level hiker. The 2 other hikes that we did are bigger hikes per se. Bigger in the fact that there is a lot of elevation gain, but the hikes themselves are only a couple miles long. We hiked Beehive as well as Jordan Pond to South Bubble. Beehive is famous all over TikTok and everybody absolutely loves it because there are rungs that you can climb in order to get up to the top. The view is incredible also, but I preferred the Jordan Pond to South Bubble because there was less crowds. It actually was a harder hike, so I felt a little bit more of a reward when we got to the top. The views were insane, and we also got to climb rungs and scramble up to the top. So it was pretty much all of the same stuff that you're expecting when you're hiking Beehive, but with less of a TikTok crowd. Although I said these are harder hikes, I think it's doable for most level hikers, as long as you're not too afraid of heights, or just don't look down. I think this one is something that everybody should check out. Making our way west, we're heading to Montana for Glacier National Park. This was the girls' trip of my dreams. I went with 4 of my girlfriends and it was the best experience ever. We didn't do any insane hikes. We did a lot of beginner-friendly hikes, but we also did horseback riding. This park has so much to offer. So the hikes inside the park that we did include Avalanche Lake Trail and Sakuma Lake Trail. We also did horseback riding around McDonald Lake, which was absolutely spectacular. If you could do nothing else in the park, you have to go horseback riding. It was so beautiful and so much fun. We did a 3-hour trail ride. Avalanche Lake was also one of my favorite hikes. I want to say it was only 6 miles round trip and it was mostly flat. It was more of a walk around the lake. We also got to have lunch at this gorgeous spot where Hannah even jumped in the water. We saw a bald eagle and we met a lot of really nice people. The park itself was gorgeous, very easy to access, very easy to find your way around. We went in June, so the weather was just absolutely perfect. There was no clouds in the sky the entire time that we were there. There is also beautiful hiking all around Montana, so we stayed in Whitefish and got to explore that city as well, but we had a rental car, so we were able to hike outside of the park also. So the one hike that we did outside of the park, it was about a 2-hour drive from Whitefish, Montana, where we stayed, but we had to do it because of the Swinging Bridge. We hiked Kootenai Falls in Swinging Bridge Trail, and it was so beautiful. The hike was not very challenging, but it was along a very rapid river, and so we got to see the most bright green water. We started on one side and we had to cross this very long bridge to get to the other side where there was this nice little beach that we could lay out and chill and take a dip in the water. If you're afraid of heights, it might not be for you, but I think it's worth a try. The bridge is very secure and you're only on it for like a minute. You gotta do it. It was so much fun. If you're looking to test your limits like I do in some of the other places I'm going to talk about, there's so many options in Glacier. We were just going for more of a chill vibe, and I think this was the perfect girl trip, family-friendly trip, or crazy adventure. They have everything that you're looking for. However, my trip to the North Cascades National Park in Washington was anything but relaxing. North Cascades National Park is only a few hours outside of Seattle, so it's an easy drive if you get a rental car. Having visited North Cascades National Park at the end of September, we were lucky enough to explore a West Coast fall full of bright yellow larches and warmish weather. Some of the hikes, depending on the elevation, did get us a little chilly, but overall, it was beautiful. This trip was not at all about relaxing and girl time. This was a trip that worked my legs to the brink. We did a hike every single day. We did 2 that were more chill and the rest were hardcore hikes. So the beginner-friendly trails that we did include Diablo Lake Trail and Baker Lake Trail. These are really nice because they have views the entire way, so you can kind of make the distance whatever you'd like. Baker Lake Trail was about 14 miles entirely, but because we were just going for a casual walk to stretch our legs after some of our longer days, we only did 3 miles of the trail. So it's pretty much whatever you make it. This is a good beginner-friendly one if you're looking for something more like that. But now that we're getting into the serious hiking, let me tell you the 3 awesome hikes that we did while we were in North Cascades National Park. This is the hike that I was most excited for going into it because I knew it was going to push me to my limits, and that's something I'm always looking for when I'm hiking, is to see what my body can do. We started this hike early in the morning because it's over 11 miles with 4,000 feet of elevation gain. I don't think I've ever done a hike with elevation gain this intense, and I am so proud of me and my brother for doing it. It was so rewarding. The hike is called Cascade Pass and Sahale Arm Trail. So it's 2 separate trails that connect. So you can do one or the other, you can do both together. It's kind of a mix and match, whatever you want to do type of hike. But the one that we did was absolutely breathtaking. I've never seen views like this. I was so obnoxious. I stopped like every 4 minutes to take pictures because I just could not believe what I was looking at. Even from the parking lot, the sights are absolutely mind-blowing. This hike was hard right from the start, pretty much just straight up. It was in a little bit of trees, and then it was in an open pass, and then you actually hike up the side of a fucking cliff, and you get to a glacier, an actual glacier. I did not make it all the way up because I was freezing, but I did make a friend whose fiance was going up to the top. So she chilled out with me while my brother and her fiance finished and summited up to the top. This hike, if nothing else, makes you just feel so small in the best way and like just thankful for how amazing nature is. This was a hike I will never forget. This next hike, Boulder Lake Trail, is one that we thought was going to be an easy hike, but ended up absolutely kicking our ass. It was literally straight up 2,000 feet of elevation gain for 3 miles round trip, which if you break that down, that means we went 1.5 miles at 2,000 feet of elevation gain. So yeah, the lake itself was beautiful and I'm really glad that we did it. I was not in the total perfect mindset to be doing it because we did think it was going to be a chill hike, so our legs were already cooked from the day before. But at the end of the day, we pushed our bodies and we could do it, and it was beautiful. And I would totally, I wouldn't say I'd do it again, but I'd tell you guys you definitely should do it. This last one I was just thinking it was going to be the last hike of the trip, nothing spectacular, but it blew my mind. The views the entire time were nothing I've ever seen before. My brother's dream was to see the yellow larches, and if you're not sure what that is, these are a type of pine tree that instead of just staying green year-round, they actually turn bright yellow in the fall. My brother had been dying to see them, so this was the first time we were going to experience it. And we weren't sure if we were a little too early in the season, but we were not. When we got to the right elevation, we were just looking at a million yellow larches, and it was just absolutely unbelievable. This hike was 7 miles round trip with 2,000 feet of elevation gain, and once we got to the summit, you could see an entire 360 view of the mountains around us. You have to do it. It's absolutely incredible. Now to our 4th and one of my absolute favorite hiking trips I've ever done in my life. We're gonna go north for a little bit and talk about Banff National Park in Canada. Banff National Park exceeded all the expectations I could have ever set. I didn't know anything going into it. It's just a tradition that my brother picks a national park and we go and hike it 1 week every year. And this year, me, my brother, and my cousin all flew up to Alberta, Canada to hike for a week. And I have never seen such beauty in my entire life. Like we did in the North Cascades, we hiked every single day and we did not do an easy hike once. Yeah, my legs were absolutely toast. I fell asleep right after dinner multiple nights, and I'm not sure any level of hiking could have prepared me for this, but it was absolutely amazing. So let me go ahead and list all the hikes that I did. Lake Agnes Trail to Little Beehive, which is at Lake Louise. We did Boom Lake Trail, which actually was an easier hike, and it was really good way to get our legs warmed up for the week. We did Tent Ridge Horseshoe, which when I get into this hike, you guys are gonna be running to Google to book your flights. We did Kootenai River, which was a tiny trail that led to this gorgeous river that we got to swim in. Porcupine Ridge was absolutely insane with views, but one of the hardest hikes I've ever done. And of course we did Sentinel Pass, which was another insane hike, and the elevation actually got to me, but looking back on it after I wasn't so foggy minded, absolutely beautiful. So let's break these down. The first day we were there, we did the Boom Lake Trail. It was a wicked easy trail. I only want to say it was a couple miles. It led us straight out to Boom Lake, which was all rocks and then the beautiful lake and some mountains. It did snow a little bit that day, even though we went to Banff in June. So that was kind of crazy, but it was really beautiful, and I think it's a good way to get your legs kind of moving before you do any bigger hikes. The other easy hike per se that we did was to Kootenai River, which was literally like a 3-minute walk in to this insane alpine river that we dove in. Be careful when you dive in because number one, it's freezing fucking cold because it's an alpine like glacier water. And number two, the river current can be very strong. So I dove in, and when I came out of the water, I was already against the rock wall. So luckily, where we jumped in was pretty small, and it would only just push you over to the certain area. But if you're swimming, be careful of the current and be careful how cold it is, because we jumped in and my breath was taken away. I came out of the water. I was like, yeah, you get the point. Okay, now on to our bigger hikes that we did. So this beehive, like the one in Acadia, is very popular. It's shaped like a beehive. It starts down at Lake Louise, and you hike up past what looks like a beehive, and you can go up to the top, and then you can see down at Lake Louise in the water is this Gatorade color you've never fucking seen before. It was very cold, even though it was in June. I definitely wish I brought extra layers. The hike was definitely challenging, but well worth it. It was so gorgeous. My all-time favorite hike of my entire life, Tent Ridge Horseshoe. This hike, it's a longer hike also. It is shaped like a horseshoe, as you can imagine. You go up one side and you come down the other. Because we went in June and we're at such high elevation in Banff, there was snow everywhere. We couldn't even see the trail. Why did we keep hiking? I do not know, but thank God we did. We post-holed. If you don't know what post-holing is, it's when the snow is very high and your feet go straight through the snow. I'm not kidding. When I stepped in the snow, I would go up to my butt. So I was literally sitting on the snow every single step because we didn't bring snowshoes. We flew there and it was June. And so for like, I don't even know how many miles it was. I think it might have been 10 miles or something crazy. For the 5 miles all the way there, we were hiking not on a trail, and we were post-holing the entire way. Please bring bear spray. We did not, and that was so silly because we didn't see a single soul out there, but I know we're in bear country. We didn't get to do the entire ridge because of the snow, but we got to go up one side, which was steep as fuck after we got out of the snow. It was just rock face. And once we got to the top, I have never seen a view like this in my entire life. I wish I could live up there. It was so unbelievably beautiful. I would do this hike a million times, post-holing the entire time. That was like the adventure of a lifetime. It was so hard that it was like you couldn't do anything but laugh. The three of us had the greatest time ever, and it was just so comical. I had so much fun. I would do it a million times, and I'd love to go and do the whole thing because obviously we didn't get to. I'd go maybe a little bit later in the season so there wasn't snow so we could go all the way around, but the views, absolutely, like I have no words. Sentinel Pass was another one that was amazing. All of these are at very high elevations, and for some reason this day really affected me. I could feel a little bit of elevation sickness. This one was a lot of snow also, but we got to see the 10 peaks, which gorgeous. And we were in this beautiful bowl, and this one was beautiful too, but definitely another hard one. The last one we did, after we had done a big hike, we had gone to a restaurant to get food, and we asked the waitress, what would be a hike that you would do for like your last day here, or like just like a chill hike? And she's like, oh, go to Porcupine Ridge, like It's so beautiful. Like, you'll do up and down. You'll be done in a short amount of time. Right. Yeah. So this is one of the hardest hikes I've ever done in my life. It was literally 5 miles round trip, so it shouldn't have been that bad, but we gained about 1,800 feet in 2.5 miles, which, as we've talked about before, I've definitely done more of that now, but at the time, we had just hiked 5 other insane hikes, and we were gonna fly out the next day, so we thought we were doing an easy hike. This hike, I was talking to myself like, I hate everything. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I can't do it. I wanna go home. I hate this. I got to the summit. I swear to God, all of my pain went away. The view is still currently the lock screen on my Mac. Like, this looks fake. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't even know what to say. I will tell you though, even if you are so fucking toast, I think your body can handle it. You need to see this view. Like, what do you mean that's just in the world? That's just like a view. I can't. That's all I have to say about that. As you can see, the theme, clearly national parks. This last one is the first ever national park I've ever done, and my first ever trip that was just for hiking. This is Yosemite National Park. All of the national parks are so different, but there is nothing quite like Yosemite. This park is absolutely fucking gigantic, and it feels like it's its own universe because we stayed out about an hour outside in Cathy's Valley. You drive for an hour and you get literally to the gates, and it's like all of nature changes. You are just in this valley of mountains and trees and waterfalls and nothing but absolutely epic views. We did 3 big hikes on this trip and a couple just spending the day walking around the park because there's just so much to see. So let's chat about it. So the 3 hikes we did were Upper and Lower Yosemite Falls, which this is one hike. We also did the Nevada Falls via the Mist Trail. Guys, oh my God. And then another, if you can believe it, hike that we thought was going to be chill but ended up being like 10 miles, which was in Mariposa Grove of the giant sequoias. Upper and Lower Yosemite Falls was absolutely beautiful. We went to Yosemite in May thinking it was going to be kind of chillier, but we hiked in like 70-degree weather the entire time. It was absolutely beautiful. And the waterfalls at the time, because it was right during the spring, were so full because the snow had been melting that we got to see it at the perfect time. I've never seen waterfalls this big. I'm getting excited. Like, I need to go back this year, I think. I haven't been since 2023. Oh, I miss it. It changed me forever. Like, this is the trip that turned me into a hiker. I've always been a hiker per se because I just grew up hiking, but this trip made it so I'm like, I actually want to seek out trips. I don't want to just go because my family's going. Like, this trip changed my life. Upper and Lower Yosemite Falls is definitely challenging. We came prepared as if we were doing a really big hike, and thank goodness, because it was a big hike. However, I did see tourists hiking up holding a giant family-sized bag of Cheetos with Converse on. Would I recommend you hike like that? Absolutely not. It is possible. Do with that information what you will, but I always think you need to be safe than sorry. Nevada Falls via the Mist Trail? Are you fucking kidding me? This hike was in-fucking-sane. I've never seen a waterfall this big. I got so soaking wet that I had to take like all of my layers off and lay them out on the top to dry. I had a friend go the following fall and they posted a picture and the waterfall was practically dried up. But when we went, it was like there's never been a water shortage in the entire world. I can't even explain it. It was so much fun. The view from the top of these hikes are also like absolutely incredible, looking out at the valley. We saw so many rainbows and so many just beautiful waterfalls and rivers. I loved it. However, the Mariposa Grove of the giant sequoias? That was something I knew sequoias were big. So if you don't know, sequoias are gigantic trees, as the name states. And I knew they were big. I didn't know how big. I can't, the pictures and the videos I'm going to show like aren't even going to do it justice. But these trees, I need to go back. I need to live there. The tree is bigger than my bedroom. I just can't. So we got there, unfortunately, in May. Some of the roads still aren't open because there's snow. And so we did have to hike 2 miles up just on the road straight up to where the normal parking lot would be for the park. So once we got up there, we were already 2 miles in. And that was supposed to be like our rest day. And so you can see a bunch of sequoias right from the parking lot, just like at the normal boardwalks, but they're not as big. If you want to see the biggest ones, you have to hike into the park. And so we just decided, when else are we going to be here? Like, we need to do it. So we ended up hiking 10 miles that day. And we hiked as far in as we could and trying to see the biggest trees. Everywhere we turned, we're like, this one's bigger. No, that one's bigger. No, this one's bigger. I can't even explain to you how big it is. Like, the only thing that can do it justice is you going. And if these photos don't convince you to go and make you just absolutely jealous as fuck if you haven't seen them, then I don't really know what I'm doing here. So guys, I think I've done my job of convincing you to, number one, get into hiking. Number two, start visiting your national parks, whether you're Canadian, whether you're American, whether you're from anywhere, because these places are national parks for a reason. And these are just my top 5s that I've done recently. I know that there's so many other ones, and I'm hoping to start checking them off my box. But these ones are the ones that I fall asleep thinking about. So I hope that your 2026 travels are starting to get filled up in your agenda, because I know mine are, and I can't wait to see your travels, and I can't wait to share mine. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever been to these places, because I'd love to get your insights on these hikes as well. But I'm so glad I got to share these with you. I've been thinking about it forever, ever. And I'm just so excited for you guys to experience these hikes like I got to. Be safe, get bear spray, wear the correct gear. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, follow me on all of my other channels. And if you haven't already seen, me and my girlfriends are starting a podcast, so go follow us on that as well. See you next Sunday.